Hi, I want to introduce myself a little more fully than my welcome video. I am Laura Hudson, Associate Professor at RU. I've worked at RU for 22 years. My daughter is 22, and that's how I remember because she was an infant when I started working at Rochester. I had been working kind of the full-time corporate type PR job. And when after I had Taylor, I decided I wanted a kind of a less stressful work environment and not having to commute as far as I did. And so I started teaching as an adjunct for Rochester. I taught media writing at night. And then I eventually became full-time in 2006 and have been there ever since. So I love teaching, I love interacting with students and meeting all of you as you come through our university and through my classes. So just a little bit about me. I'm going to give you an introduction because I want each of you to give an introduction for the discussion forum. I am not originally from Michigan. I grew up in a family, moved around quite a bit. I would say home was mostly Oklahoma and Texas, but I also have lived in California, Montana, Iowa, Michigan, and I was born in Bermuda. And so I have lived in Michigan though longer than anywhere else. And I love it here. It's taken me a long time to get used to the winters, but now that I learn how to deal with it, I can appreciate them more than I used to. I graduated with a bachelor's in public relations, and I've worked in PR mostly my whole career. I also have a master's in journalism. My very first job after I finished my master's was in Houston, Texas. I worked for a trade publication. I wrote about payphones every day, back when we had payphones. Then I moved to California. I worked at Pepperdine University as a PR person. I wrote and edited and designed their alumni publications, wrote news releases, did some special events, things like that. I went back to Oklahoma to teach at my alma mater and was very young, was teaching there, was also advising the student newspaper there. Then I moved to Michigan and I worked at Macomb Community College when I first moved here. I worked there for 3 years as a PR person. I also handled advertising. So I created and also bought all their radio and print advertising. I was getting tired of the commute from Rochester all the way to Warren. Um, and I decided to start my own business. So I started my own PR firm and it was called The Right Image, WRITE. And I basically worked for a lot of different clients from nonprofits to universities to advertising agencies, did a lot of writing and creating different materials. I did that for a long time until I got a full-time offer from the advertising agency I was working with quite a bit to be their director of PR. So I did that for a while before I decided to step down once I had an infant at home. And that's when I went back to kind of working for myself as much as I could and also teaching at Rochester. I want to just mention Shield Media. I started it 21 years ago or so, and it started out as a newspaper. Now it is a magazine. We're doing videos, we're doing podcasts. We have a website. It is shieldmedia.org. Check it out. I would love to get you involved. One of my goals for Shield is to start getting more students in the accelerated program involved in it. I know many of you have jobs and you're also taking classes, but I would like to see how we can make that happen. If you're interested, send me an email, reach out to me, and we'll see what we can work out. But I love doing Shield. It's just a great resource. It's also great for you because it's a place for you to get some training. The very first question you're going to get asked is, what experience do you have? And if you've got some writing samples and podcasts or videos or design that you've done for Shield, then that gives you something to say, hey, I've been doing this and here's my writing samples or here's my design samples. So it's a great thing to get started. Also, we're just a fun group of people. It's a lot of fun to be a part of. So I encourage you to do that. So check out the website. That's where you can see all the links. Follow us on our social media. And if you're interested, send me a quick email. Your question this week is about, oh, before I do that, I am married to Dave Hudson. He also teaches at Rochester University. He is over our sports management program, and he is also working on his doctorate, his doctorate from East Tennessee State in global sports leadership. And he has one more year. He'll be done with that. So he is not only teaching classes and running that program, but also finishing up his doctorate. We have 3 children between us. I have 2 stepchildren, Davis and Kate. Davis is 26. Kate is almost 21. And then my daughter, Taylor, and she is 22, almost 23. Taylor actually just graduated in December from Rochester, and she was in the Mass Comm program. But now she's wanting to go to law school. So she's working at a law firm in Birmingham and studying for the LSAT and doing all that kind of stuff. Your question this week is about creativity. And I have always been a creative person, but I never really believed that I was creative until I knew myself better. I've always been involved in that. I love art and design. I picked up painting about 3 years ago, and I love it. I do a lot of acrylic painting of different things. I take some online classes and do some classes at Paint Creek Center for the Arts in Rochester. I love reading. I love hiking with my husband. One of the things that we have done is we are trying to hike the high points of all 50 states. We've done 23 so far. But get this, the high point of, say, Florida is only 300 feet. So they're all different. Most of them are off the beaten path, and it's a really interesting hobby that we have picked up. So I've always been creative, and I think everyone is creative in some way. I don't want to hear anyone say that you're not creative, because everyone is. Maybe you doubt your creativity, but you are creative. Maybe it's you know how to build an engine, or maybe it's you know how to get the quickest way to work, without following the normal path that most people take. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to be creative. So I look forward to hearing your responses to that this week as we all explore our creativity. So I think that is all for me to cover in this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to get to know you and to watch your videos this week as well. Thanks.